Hello my friends, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to talk about sansevierias or snake plants, and I'm going to tell you about their names, but what's most important, the care tips, how you should water them and where to grow them. So this is my collection of sansevierias or snake plants. Of course, people call them snake plants, most probably because of the shape and the colors of the leaves, but also their botanical name before, a couple of years ago was still Sansevieria, but now, as you may have heard, it's actually Dracaena. I will still be calling them Sansevieria. So here I have my small collection of snake plants. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. All of them have different history and background. Some I have brought from, like this one I've brought from Serbia. And this one I have swapped with Leon Strohmeyer from Berlin. We have swapped plants with each other, and this one is a gorgeous plant. I will show you a close-up in a little bit. And then this one I've bought from the Hollander, and this one as well. The Hollander is a big gardening center or nursery in Berlin, in Germany. They're all growing on my shelf now in the kitchen because there I have still very bright light because now it's end of the autumn, almost winter. But in the summer I grow them outside on the balcony where I have very bright light and a little bit of sun. So now you may know that snake plants are succulents, and most probably you have heard that, oh, you need to grow the succulents under the direct sunlight. However, in this case with this plant, it really depends. It really depends which variety you have, and sometimes even the direct sunlight may be harmful for them because it may be too much if depending, on your area where you live. For example, I come from Armenia, and my plants, if I grow them under the direct burning sun in the summer in Armenia, they will be burned completely. But in Germany, the direct sunlight is not really that strong, where of course depending on the days, but most often it's not the case. So you can grow your sansevierias under the direct sunlight if it's not really burning. Well, you can test just bringing them closer and closer and closer to the sun, and then you will see if they can tolerate it or not. So where to grow them? Choose a very bright area with a little bit of sun in the morning and in the summer actually. And when it's closer to the autumn or winter, try to give them as much bright light as possible. Let's just move on to their varieties and names. I have all the tags here, and I will also tell you about the potting mix and how to water it. So this one is really big. It's the most famous and spread one. You can see these plants, and actually all snake plants. Maybe some of them are rare varieties that I have here, but for example, this one you can definitely see in so many offices, and so many people grow them at home, but also like in hotels, in restaurants, you will definitely see them because they're very famous, they're very low maintenance, and you should definitely grow them at home because they are the best air purifiers. This is a gorgeous plant. I have here maybe 9 plants, and if you grow them together in a pot, I think they look almost like artificial, but very beautiful. So it's standing here and it's decorating this wall, and actually it creates this very nice vibes for coffee and thinking and planning my videos for you. All right, let's start from this side, and this one is Sansevieria moonshine. It has this really gray leaves which turn a little bit green if it sees a little bit of sun. So if you want to keep it on the grayer side, keep it far away from direct sunlight. Here I have another yellow variety, not another, but yeah, I have here, I will show you in a little bit. And this one is really like short, I would say, but it's really like the rosette of the leaves is awesome. And its name is Siam Gold. Let's see this one. This is like brown variety. When it starts to grow, the leaves are a little bit like really dark green, but then it turns to brown, and the leaves have this a little bit waves here on the edges. I'm really curious to propagate this one and see if from the brown leaves it's possible to get brown babies, brown plants, or it will be green. Like for example, like with this one, if you propagate this variety from leaves, the babies will be green. And this variety is Star Canyon Granite. This is very similar to this other one, which is just next to it. This one is really beautiful. It grows very slow, I must say. Well, like most Sansevierias, I would say. But this is so beautiful because it has this light green, then green, dark green lines on them, and the edges are really dark red, orange. Absolutely gorgeous variety, very thick leaves, you cannot bend them at all. And this one is Star Green Granite, so it's kind of similar to this one. Now this is a very interesting one because there is a marketing trick about this plant, and I actually had a video about this one where I explained this marketing trick, but I can tell you shortly here. So sometimes you just buy the same plant which looks totally different. Sometimes you will see that they are kind of braided together, or sometimes you will see just the leaves sticking out of the soil, but it's actually the same plant. Well, the new name is Dracaena ongolensis. I have it on my label, but I remember it as snake plant, Cylindrica, Sansevieria cylindrica. And normally it grows like this. It has this palm kind of way of growing, but sometimes they cut the leaves and they plant them in different ways, and then people think that, okay, different variety of Sansevieria, let me buy it, but you actually buy the same plant. Look at this. This is just one leaf. It just grows like this. Well, grows. I don't really notice any growth here, but this is like stands here for 6 months already, not doing anything. There are no babies, nothing. I just see that the roots getting more and more and more because it's this in this tiny pot, and you can see that even the pot is deformated. The roots are going out from the holes of the plant of the pot, and this one is Sansevieria grandis. And I'm really curious to know if it will grow babies eventually. I mean, it should, but then this one, let me show you the name, Almond Silver, and this one is a little bit narrow, growing in just 2 directions, so not as a rosette, but basically, yeah, 2 sides only. And the leaves were quite narrow, but now they get thicker and thicker, and I'm really curious to know if they will turn into something like a really thick leaf plant, or it will continue like this. Next one is this yellow one. This is absolutely rare variety because I've never seen it. The one time I saw it, I of course bought it, because most probably you have this green variety which has yellow edges, and here is just yellow. Like this leaf is absolutely yellow, and these leaves are also absolutely yellow. From the underneath, they're also yellow with just some stripes of green. And this makes this plant so unique, this variety. This is Gold Flame. And I haven't propagated this one too, but I'm going to do it in the spring to see if I propagate these yellow leaves, will the babies be yellow or will they be green? I don't know. If you have done that, please write down in the comments what's your experience, if they grow green or yellow. The next one is this small one, which has these yellow leaves in the middle, but they were more yellow actually. So I'm not sure if it was because of the sunlight that they turn more greenish now, or it's just the autumn-winter season. But basically the leaves in the center are yellow, on the sides they are green. And this is just this very, very tiny variety. The name of the variety is Star Canary. All right, the next one is this one, which is Samurai Dwarf. This is a really, again, thick but small variety, so short variety, but the leaves are very small. And Mikado, this one is also one of my favorites too, because it just grows just like this, you know, these leaves just coming out, and so many babies. Actually, there were just several, and within just 6 months, I have maybe double of what I had in the pot. All right, how to water them. As you have noticed, many of them, actually all of them, have very thick leaves, which makes them succulents, right? Meaning that they collect the nutrients and water in their thick leaves. Like all of them, like this one and even this one, they're so thick, which means you don't really need to water them a lot. Basically, I water them once very thoroughly. The whole pot is actually moist. The soil is moist. But then the next time when I water them, it can be even in the summer, even when it's too hot, It can be after 1.5 months later. It really depends. And if you see it standing completely dry for a couple of weeks, don't worry, nothing will happen to them. They have all the nutrients, all the water they have in their thick leaves. If you overwater them, this is, I guess, the only issue that you may have with your Sansevierias, because no insects can be on them. Actually, well, they can, of course, but it's so rare because of their very sturdy leaves. Insects do not really like to eat them, and that's why the only problem that you may have with this plant is actually if you overwater them. Then you can have root rot, and then your plant will suffer. But other than that, what you can have here is maybe some viruses, some bacteria, but normally just don't overwater them and they will thrive and be really, really gorgeous. The other thing that you can do, you can also, of course, fertilize them and use some very specific soil. I will, of course, put the links in the description what I use or what I would recommend. So I will be repotting them, and so if you would like to see how I repot them and how I prepare the potting mix, how I prepare the soil for them, what I include there, what I mix together, please write in the comments and I will make sure that I will tape when I repot them. Stay passionate about plants. See you next time.